Okay, this video actually goes back a few months. I had all the pieces of the video taken, and I just kind of forgot to process them and put them in an update video. So this is not backwards progress, it's just progress from quite a while ago. So I guess I kind of screwed up and I didn't get it done right. But here it is anyway. Okay, we have updates on the header progress. I have this side completely put back together. Looks beautiful, and I'll explain what I did here. So, the fender mounted turn signals, those that are in the fiberglass header panel with this, or no, the Magnums don't have, yeah, the Magnums do, some do, other Cordobas and whatnot. That screw that goes in there goes into something that looks like this when it comes out. Whoops, there goes the other half of the nut. But it's a little rubber piece. I never really knew for sure what they looked like. One of them came out that had enough left to it where I could figure it out, and it's supposed to be a little rubber nut cert. And it's tough to see there, but there are threads in there, and this goes through, and this is rubber, pretty stiff rubber, but it's rubber. It'll flex. See, there we go. So when you put the screw through and tighten it up, that mushrooms out on the back side, so then it holds tight. I get these. It's an Avico number. There it is. So now those are actually going to be held in right. Otherwise, I was going to try to, I don't know what I was going to do, but luckily I figured out what it was exactly. So that's a win. Headlight bucket. I sandblasted both of them. They looked really nasty. Kind of cleaned them up. You're never going to see them, but wanted to make sure that they were decent. Put new headlight adjusters in there. Looks beautiful. And then the other thing I did, show you the difference here. I've got that turn signal lens cleaned up really nice, and that's what they looked like, and that's the other side I haven't done yet. It's a pretty significant difference. Now this one, the backing has got some flaking and it's coming apart, but it's the best I've got from what I can pick here. And I used this 3M headlight restoration kit. Whoops, where's the 3M number? There it is. It works great. I've done this on many other plastic lensed headlights. It's the same process on these. It takes longer because it's just it's a round surface and it's fairly small, really. So it takes a lot of time with the detail part of it. We had one other one. Lens is a little bit yellow in this one. The backing in there looks really nice. The problem is this little button on the middle, the decal is missing, and I'm not going to try to peel that decal out. And I've tried to take these buttons off before. I can get a bad one off, but trying to get one off, say like if I was going to take it off this one and put it on that one, it's almost impossible to get it off without wrecking it. So rather than have one with the decal and one without, having two without just doesn't look right in my opinion. So we're going to put two of these on this one. The backing in there looks pretty decent. So we're going to go with this one, and then that'll be done. The header will be done, and I can start on the bumper. One other thing I will mention for those of you keeping track at home, these amber light bulbs. I've already got this one in there. They kind of come in several different ways, and some of them are basically painted on the outside. Avoid those like the plague. If I see one in a car, I throw it away even if it works, because that paint they dip it in falls off anyway, so it's kind of worthless. Get the ones where the actual glass is colored. I don't know what they add to the glass, but they add something to the glass to make it kind of an orange color. And the orange color will vary quite a bit. So like in a car like this, I always try to at least match them up side to side. And it's tough to see on this one anyway. But the other thing I like to do, put some dielectric grease in there. It helps kind of keep some of the moisture out so the corrosion stays away. Makes the socket and everything last longer, fewer electrical problems. Especially in the front where you get pelted with rain and whatever else, where it can really drive in there and whatnot. So the trunk it's important, but it's not a huge deal on these because the sockets are inside the trunk. So to get the water in there, you really have to try hard. But anyway, hopefully shortly in the video you will see a bumper on here too. So I have an NOS grill for this here. Problem is, when I pick up the box I could hear something rattling in there. That's never a good sign. What it turned out to be, the box just got dropped at some point, and these two mounting studs on the end were broken off. So I was trying to figure out how on earth, how do I glue these back on there where they're actually going to stay and have some sort of support. Well, I don't know if you can see this, there's a hole down the middle of this piece, and the hole extends down into there. So I came up with what I think is a rather ingenious solution. That's the shaft from a rivet, and I've got one for each one. And I marked I slid them on here, if I can get close enough, and then I marked, where they lined up just right. Now I've got support, it's not going to break sideways, this direction it might break apart, hopefully not, because the glue is pretty good, but at least sideways it's not gonna, because that'd be very difficult to just try to glue that part, put it together. And like I say, I've got one for this side too. Boom, that lines up. And I think that's going to hold that in there pretty well. And once the grill is in there, I mean, there's plenty of ways to fasten this thing down. I think that's a pretty ingenious solution. Oops. Some days I even amaze myself. Okay, made a little progress on the hood. I got the hood hinges in and stuff, and now I got the front adjusted pretty close. I'm going to have to tweak it a little more, but you can see the back edge of the hood here is a lot higher than the fender, and it runs all the way, most of the way up front. And I looked at the pictures before I tear everything apart, and it's similar. It's up a little high. So there's one of two ways I can fix this, and neither one is very desirable. I can either go up in here, I can hog these holes out on the hinge so I can slide the hood farther down, or I can find a different hinge or take this one off and see if I can bend this whole back piece down, where it kind of shoots up, because I can't move the hinge down anymore because it rides on top of the fender. And since it was like this before, I'm guessing the holes in the hood were just a little bit off. Not 100% sure what I'm going to do yet. I got to do some thinking on how much effort either one is going to take.